You're
Hello and welcome to the unofficial BSHL podcast. I'm your host, Corey, joined by my co-host, Corey.
I'm the other one.
Also joined by league vice president, third vice president. What's your official role now, Connor? You're third VP, right?
I think so.
All right. You're not like in charge of any certain thing, right? Because I know like Eric's like
no.
stats and shit.
No.
Connor's like, no, I don't want any fucking... I'm just the third VP. So we're joined by Connor Smith, third VP. We were talking the other day about, when we started the podcast and the road traveled, but you and I clicked pretty quick, man. I shot you a message. You responded to me pretty early on, and here we are, man. It's been a wild ride. You're a really good friend of mine now. Outside of this podcast, you're one of the few people in the league that I would probably say that if this podcast died tomorrow, I would still remain friends with outside of here. So thanks for coming on again. Thanks for coming on again. It's always a pleasure to have you, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Good. Be better in like 27 days or something like that?
23. Not that I'm counting. Not that I'm counting. Are you going to be at a game on opening night?
Maybe.
All right.
I know I'm going to be in Amherst on the Sunday. We got a Record Expo opening weekend. So
you're going to go to the Record Expo and then go to the Duck game?
Record Expo is a Saturday, so just won't make it to Fredericton or Dalhousie.
Well, I think our plan is we've discussed it a lot. It's obviously going to depend on a lot of what's going on right now in the league, and I'll talk about that in a second. But our plan's always been kind of Miramichi and then Miramichi, Bell Bay, Amherst. And then week 2 will be in Fredericton. They don't have a home game in the first week, so should be fun. Hopefully we'll see you in Amherst on the weekend. I think we're gonna go to Amherst and then truck our ass back to Elsa Puck Duck and catch the JCs versus the Hawks. So
I feel like the Ducks played every game I saw last year.
No, you went to some Hawks games, didn't you?
Yeah, but it felt like every time I was at a game, they were playing the Ducks.
Ducks fly together, quack, quack. Is it because your heart's still close to that team, Connor?
There's not very many people that played for me that still play there.
I mean, Colborne's still there. Stone's still there.
Yeah,
Big Bobby Davis?
Probably, 7 or 8 maybe?
Yeah, more this year than there were last year for sure. We got Josh Doyle back, so...
Did get Doyle back.
There you go.
Gonna bring that, back. The Bucktush and LC thing too, where we go to the LC game and then wait until the score is either really high or after the second and go to Bucktush. We did that a lot last year.
Yeah, you head to a lot of games with Roger, right?
And makes it easy.
Let's see, Roger, you, Aubrey?
Typically, yep.
Yeah, all right.
And I go to Miramichi a lot.
Aubrey's not like a VP or anything involved in the league. He's just like one of Roger's buddies, and he's always been around, so he comes to these games. Am I accurate with that?
He saves their seats while we go do business.
Okay. He's a seat saver. I like that.
Well, in Miramichi and LC, yeah, big time.
Cool. Yeah, because in Bucktush, for the most part, you guys stand a lot of the time. You guys stand up top. So
last year you had to anyway.
It's true. Connor, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who was the biggest signing this offseason who wasn't in the league previously?
I don't know if there is a biggest signing. I feel like there's a biggest signing per team. But, I don't know. There's a lot of good signings for different reasons.
Which one excites you the most?
I mean, it is really nice to have, T-Zink in the league and Phillips in the league. I would say guys like that just because, everybody thought last year there was a couple of former NHLers and AHLers. Well, I guess there is one former AHLer. But, I mean, I don't know. It just brings pedigree to the league. So, I mean, it's nice to see those guys.
So, I'm going to talk a little bit here about the Peninsula. I was talking with Roger today. Roger being the president of the league, if anybody's not aware, Roger Brunn. So email him. I don't know. Give him a call. Get to know him some. I feel like a lot of people, Roger's this person that not a lot of people know. And I didn't know. But then once you start talking to him, the guy's got such a history in senior hockey. It's really interesting conversations. But so talking to Roger today, the official statement from the league based on what we know right now for the Peninsula is, as of now, the Peninsula has asked to or demanded to be to get a year sabbatical. The league teams will meet about that next week, but for now, there's a group that are trying to get the Peninsula to stay in the Peninsula. So the league wants to have hockey in the Peninsula badly, and they're currently working with some people to try to make that happen. They've asked to be given until Monday to make that happen, so we'll know more early next week. And that's all that I have from the Prez right now. That's all I have from Roger. So he's definitely hopeful to keep senior hockey in the Peninsula. Like, I can't picture a senior hockey league without the Peninsula. In my head, it's just, I've been watching Peninsula or Trackety or Shippigan or Lamette games for so friggin' long. I can't wrap my head around it personally.
Well, I don't think it even matters the team. Like, it was the same thing with River Valley. It was unfortunate when it happened with them, and it felt like no matter how good of a season the league had last year, that there is a little bit of a hole.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's nice to see 8 teams. You want 8 teams, no matter what. It makes the schedule flow well. It adds some, I mean, there was 8 teams when we were in the league, but it makes it fun. And the fans like to see as many teams as possible, even if they only see them once. But
absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully they can keep things together. There'd be a lot of players that have no place to play, and there's a lot of good local players there too. And Peninsula brings a certain pedigree to the league, like outside of the 3 Southern teams that started. Well, I guess it's down to 2 now with LC and Bucktush. I guess I was counting Capital A. But, the Peninsula has always been in the league in some way, if it was Lamech or Trackety or, when they joined us. When it was just...
Acadie Scheller shut down?
Yeah, Acadie Scheller. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the name of that league. But, there's a lot of history there, and there's a lot of good players. So hopefully they can bring it together. And
I'll say what nobody wants to say. Who are the Dalhousie fans going to bitch about if the Peninsula is not in the fucking league? They won't know what to do with themselves. I'm telling you, I can picture these Dalhousie fans. Glenn West is going to be lost. He won't know what to do with himself if he can't be mad at the Peninsula. So we need the Peninsula in the league just for that reason alone. That's my take on it. Corey, do you agree?
100%.
I mean, the rivalries have been built up, so that's the one thing. But that's the one thing, too, with the Peninsula being one team that's really hard for me, is that's a huge rivalry that's gone. And we talk about rivalries. Do you like the alignment of the league, Connor? The South, the North? Is that? I know it's to cut down travel, but how do you feel about it?
Well, I think it helps with rivalries, too. Like, nobody likes it when Elsie and Bucktush only play each other twice, or, Amherst's biggest rivalry is easily Bucktush. That Remembrance Day game last year was probably the best game in the year I saw all year, just because of how, how rough it was, and it was a good spirited game. I'm not one for brawls and all that, but, if you get a nice, rough, competitive game, and I think that having the alignments helps with that big time. Like, in the North, especially with all the teams being so close together. It breaks my heart that Fredericton can't be in the same division as Miramichi. That's my one caveat with the divisions that I don't like, but there's no way to fix that. I think Fredericton's going to have a heck of a rivalry this year with Elspucktuck. I think those are 2 teams that are going to go to battle, especially when you add all those extra storylines of like Trainer and Brewer and those guys coming to LC last year, and now they're back there. It's going to be damn good, man. I'm pretty excited. I really hope we can somehow find a road to keep that 8th team, though. Well, and I think you just said about rivalries. I think there's a little bit of a rivalry between every team in the league. Like, even the 2 farthest teams, like Amherst and Dalhousie, have had some wicked games.
Yeah.
And they're the farthest 2 from each other.
Yeah, 100%. Distance is not necessarily what makes a rivalry. When I think about the biggest rival for Dalhousie, in my opinion, it might be Elspucktuck. it's a damn travel, man. Those teams are not close to each other. They don't like each other.
Well, and a lot of people forget too that when there was no, like when the league was a lot smaller, and even still, there's guys that go play elsewhere. So I mean, a lot of these guys have played with each other or against each other on other teams. So that's a nice little layer. We're very lucky. I mean, it sounds like a lot of time from Amherst to Dalhousie and vice versa, but realistically, like to have 8 teams within a 4-hour radius of each other is pretty cool. You look at some other senior leagues and they're spread out all over the place.
100%, with the exception of PEI, where the island itself is just so damn tiny.
Yeah, it takes half an hour to get anywhere.
Exactly. You look at Quebec, and yeah, there's some serious road trips there. That's why you see teams do like 2 games in a weekend at a place and then not go back for the rest of the season.
Well, even Nova Scotia, like to go from
oh my god,
Truro to Cape Breton, I mean, it's at least, well, it's 4 hours, but that's why they're splitting them up.
Absolutely, they're going to be doing some divisions, but there'll be some interdivisional play. I think I haven't studied their schedule terribly.
I heard maybe the playoffs, but not the regular season. They're still working on that 4th Cape Breton team.
Okay, they're still actively right now, even though the season starts in like a month for them.
Yeah, there was a late bid put in, I guess, for a team in North Sydney, so they're trying to have a team down there. I mean, there's enough players. It's just a matter of getting everybody to want to play.
Yeah, and getting an ownership group or somebody that's going to manage it in place. Corey, you're awful quiet over there. What do you have to say?
I'm just listening to you two. I'm enjoying this.
Well, that's fine. You're still part of the show. Talk some. What are your thoughts right now?
Well, as far as rivalries go, I agree with Connor 100%. I think there's a rivalry with every team. I think some are higher than others, though. I think after both semifinals last season, I think can't miss games are Elsie and Dalhousie, but also Bucktouche and Miramichi. Like, the big bad Bucktouche JCs didn't lose one home game until they lost a home game, and that was it. And it's all thanks to Miramichi, who would go on to win the cup against Elsie. Another big rivalry right there. They don't like each other. I just watched that final game in Dalhousie. I get why fans from Dalhousie don't like Trey Lewis. He scores the goal, points at the score, heat all over. So, there's no shortages of rivalry in the BSHL. You're going to have a good time any game you go to. You just got to make it to the games.
Getting to the games is one of the key things, man. And I hope to see fans out this year. People talk about payrolls being up and a lot of things being up, but hopefully we see attendance up again this year. I know it's been building year over year, and that's what we need, man. Need people to get out there and support it. Because the product, like, when you process the fact that we're seeing T-Sync, we're seeing Phillips or Gallant, we're seeing all these people literally in our backyards for $12 a game. Like, process that. That's easily the best deal you're going to find.
Well, you had asked about the biggest signing, like, overall. I prefer the locals, like, to see the local players get signed and brought back. Like, there's a lot of guys in the league that have played every year I've been a part of the league, and it's nice to see them every year. And I was going to say, too, like, every team has a certain, like, they bring a certain something to the league. Whether it's the players or the arenas, the jerseys, the fans, like, I think a lot of times people take for granted how good the league is. I know there's a lot of different opinions out there, but I mean, the league gets better every year. Yeah, and I think we might have found, hopefully, the balance to, everybody being competitive, because there is smaller markets and all the teams seem to be on board. So, it's really looking forward to this year. I think it could be just the next step in the league to kind of propel us to that new era of senior hockey.
The new era of senior hockey. What does that new era look like in your mind, Connor?
I think it looks a lot like last year, just a little bit of elevation with, we went away from fighting a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I know a lot of people will say, oh, that's not what it was supposed to. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but without that, we got to see a lot of tough and rough games. Like you might not have saw a fight every game, but there was a lot of instances last year where anybody could walk into any rink and win. And I'd much rather have a league where anybody can win on any given night than what it was when we started. And it was mainly, I say when we started, when the team started in Spring Hill 4 years ago. The league looks a lot different now.
Drastically, man. You had there was definitely some teams dominating back then. I think the Hawks that year didn't lose until well after Christmas.
Yeah, they were like 20. No, they were like
They went 15-0 before losing the game. Yeah.
Bananas. Winning on the road, winning at home, winning everywhere. And I completely will stay with what you were saying about how those local players coming back year in, year out and continuing that same, when you think about Miramichi, you think Chris Keating. When you think about the Hawks, right, you think Trey Lewis. If you don't think Trey Lewis, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to me. When you think about the Hawks, you think Trey Lewis. It is what it is. You like him or you hate him, Trey Lewis is a talking point in this league, and he's a huge asset to the league. Huge asset to the league. If you look at Dalhousie, how do you not think about some of those local guys? How do you not think about Jessica Bernard and Joey? That's senior hockey, man. And even in Amherst, I love to see a good Stone hit. There's just something about it. He's not a big dude. I don't know how the hell he does it, but every couple of games, Matt Stone just lays someone out, and I'm like, I don't understand it. Or you see Colborne battle his ass off from one end of the rink to the other every game. And there's probably nobody that works harder than Jesse Colborne in this league. And there's also nobody probably that's more well-liked by other teams than Jesse Colborne. You watch at center ice, everybody talks to Jesse. And that camaraderie between teams and how it's growing and building is it's a lot of fun to watch as a fan, as whatever the hell I am now, I don't know, as the podcast guy. It's right, kind of a privilege but going everywhere and seeing all of the teams, not just watching the Hawks or not just watching the JCs. It's a lot of fun to see those connections and friendships that the players have between themselves.
Well, and it's nice to see everybody work together too. I mean, there's been times where things have kind of got outside of just off the ice, and some teams don't get along. But that's part of hockey. I mean, that's the business side of it. But it seems like everybody's working together to have that stronger, better league. I mean, you look last year. At the start of the year, a lot of people were writing the Northmen off, and they ended up winning the league. So, I mean, anything can happen in the league, no matter how good the lineup is or how good you think a single player is. The underdog can really win any game.
I feel attacked right now because I definitely had the Northmen at the bottom or near the bottom of the standings last year, and then they won the cup, and it was a great story, and it was fun to watch.
Well, I mean, you guys talk a lot too about just players that fit in, just they're almost local. You talk a lot about Brody MacArthur and Elsie. I mean, look at Kennedy Gallant and Miramichi. To me, Kennedy is as local as it gets. He played all his junior in Miramichi, and there's guys that might not be from town but fit the local rules. I mean, there's a lot of guys that just live in the area. You look at some of these guys that have signed, like Jordan Owens, for example. He lives in the Maritimes. It's a great asset for our league.
I mean, Mac Brown didn't grow up in Richibucto. Danny Crate didn't grow up in this area. Those are two Hawks to me. Those are local guys. I mean, they live here now, granted, but I don't know. I don't feel
they're
like
part of the foundation of the team too, right?
Amen. And Kennedy Gallant's such a great example of that. He's a product of PEI, but he spent half his life in Miramichi at this point, I guess. Right. And he's as much a Northman as anybody else. So, it wouldn't surprise me in 5-10 years to see a letter on Kennedy Gallant's jersey. That's for sure.
And I mean, we're expanding too. The league's expanding with a new team this year who looks like they're going to be very competitive in Bell Bay, and
Bell Bay coming in, Fredericton being back in the league, formerly River Valley, moving to the big city, and really the BSHL moving into a big city for the first time. Do you think we ever see expansion into other cities in the province?
I think it would have to work some way around the same way that they did this. Like,
The card system?
they didn't go take a. Oh, sorry.
The card system, essentially?
Not even so much the card system, but they didn't. They didn't go ask for a new territory. They took the territory they already had, used the cards that they needed to get some guys from Fredericton, who majority of played in River Valley anyway. But if you were going to have a team, let's say in St. John, you'd probably need to have like a smaller minor hockey association to make it fair, like I don't know, Lancaster or something like that, and then go and get your 15 cards from St. John or something like that. Moncton, I think, would be really hard just in the fact it would be hard to draw here with the Wildcats being so popular now. But
what minor hockey association do you think would be the fairest for a team from Moncton or Dieppe to take?
I'd have to say probably Louisville or Riverview.
Riverview comes to mind for me.
Yeah.
It's like
there's a lot of guys that played Riverview minor hockey that have played in the league.
100%. Riverview's a phenomenal little town. Good high school hockey in Riverview, too. You got to love Riverview. But yeah, that would be an interesting territory for a team. But, we always go back to how much we would love to see hockey in Membrum Cook and whether that would work better than putting a team directly in Dieppe. Although, man, a team at the Uniplex, like, damn,
well,
that's a rink.
The big part of it, too, like, there's been a lot of talk about Fredericton playing at 3 different rinks.
Oh.
I think it's going to add a certain interesting layer to the team. Ice time is not as easy to get as people think. It wasn't easy in Spring Hill. We were the only major tenant. Minor hockey comes first. And a lot of the teams do a really good job at getting their ice time consistent, but it's not as easy as people might think it is.
I mean, I think we're going to plan trips to Fredericton based around the rink that they're playing in. Like, we obviously want to get to the home opener, and that goes without saying. But Corey's really, really excited to get to Fredericton. What rink do you want to check out, Corey?
Well, tying it into wrestling, the York Arena. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I mean, there's a history there though, and it'll be very cool for as a wrestling nerd like us, who we're all going to see each other this Saturday at a wrestling show, coincidentally enough. There's stories there, so I can't wait to get there and check it out. I will definitely try to plan my first 3 games in Fredericton to get to the Lady Beaverbrook, to get to God, why can't I think of the main one, the Grand Harvey?
Grand Harvey.
And then to get to New York.
Mention the Grand Harvey too. Like, if they were ever going to put a senior team in Fredericton, now is the most opportune time with the Red Wings moving to Bathurst.
100%.
It opens that door. They were drawing like 900 people. Let's say even half of them go to the games at the Grand Harvey. There's 450 people that just went to Red Wings games, plus all the fans. I'm sure there's going to be people from Dopetown that go to games.
Oh, yeah. No doubt in my mind.
It's essentially the River Valley Lumberjacks with, some guys from Fredericton in the lineup.
Yeah, like all these people from River Valley are now going to make the trip to Fredericton, go get a hot dog at Costco, and then go check out a hockey game. Like, don't even lie to me. I know that's the plan for some of these people, and I'm not here to judge it. I mean, go to the city, do some stuff, and then check out a hockey game on the way out. It's perfect.
Basically, what we're saying is we'll see you at Costco before the game.
I mean, maybe. Have you ever had a Costco poutine? That shit's damn good, man.
I like the cheese pizza.
You like the cheese pizza?
Yeah.
Corey, what do you get at the canteen at the Costco?
Pepperoni and cheese pizza.
Pepperoni and cheese?
It's great. It's great, man.
So
chicken strips are good.
Here's the take. You get a chicken strip with a poutine fry, and you drizzle some of that sweet and sour sauce on the poutine. Change your fucking life right there.
Well, or you do the TikTok thing. You take the hot dog and roll it up in the pizza slice.
That's I'm not on TikTok anymore. I'm too old for TikTok, Connor. It's an issue for me.
You don't look a day over 25, buddy. It's okay.
Man.
See, that's why he's...
I'm really
that's why he's your friend.
His vision. I'm concerned about his vision right now. How's your tooth? You got a tooth extracted yesterday or something?
No, they filled it, but it's still pretty sore. It was right. The nerve was quite deep, so still in a little bit of discomfort, but it feels a lot better.
Connor texted me yesterday, and Connor's a very frequent voice messenger with me, which is lovely. I love to hear Connor's beautiful voice, so it works out. But he sends me this voice message, and he sounded fucking high. And I'm not talking he smoked the joint high. That would just be Connor on a regular day. I'm talking he sounded like the dentist, like, fucked him up, man. The first thing he said was, I just left the dentist. I'm really, really high right now, and I sound weird, so I hope you can understand this. I understood every word, but I laughed really hard.
Well, and the funny thing was, I just felt out of it. They didn't give me anything. It was just freezing. Who knew?
Yeah. All you need is a little bit of Novocaine.
I guess so.
Quiet Corey, anything else you want to talk about this episode?
Nothing that comes to mind. These episodes are torture because we're still a month away. And I've been doing my routine that I do every September and going back and watching some live streams that we did. I'm skipping the early live streams because I absolutely suck at them. Last year, not as bad. Still pretty bad, but not as bad as the first year. But yeah, it's still too far away from me.
There was one big announcement today. Benji Curtis was announced as the captain of the Fredericton Express. Congrats to Benji. Congrats to Fredericton. I think that's good choice. He's got a history as a leader with the Lumberjacks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard some other names thrown around there too, but I think they landed at the right place. So we're super happy to see Benji there as captain. Benji, you're gonna have to come on the podcast now and talk to me sometime because captainly duties. That's the way she goes. Connor, I thought Connor was going to talk, but he muted. The other thing I want to talk about, Connor, is league meetings a little bit. Not a ton. I don't want to get into big depth, but league meetings are held twice annually, right?
Typically, yeah. Usually we do a spring meeting and then we do the AGM. And then most things we try to do Zoom meetings, but I mean, it gets better every year. Knock on wood.
Connections are better for sure. It's hard. Zoom meetings with 8 people, 9 people, 10 people, not easy. So if somebody brings something into the meeting, they want something changed, they want to discuss different roster options, who has a vote on those decisions?
Well, it's pretty much like any other meeting. You have an agenda, and then stuff comes up. You go around who wants to bring up what, they bring it up, and then the teams all have a vote, and they vote.
Does the president have a vote? Do VPs have a vote?
We will vote as an executive if something comes to a tie and definitely needs to be worked out, but that doesn't happen very often. Because anytime somebody brings something up, there's usually a long discussion, and then we go around for a vote. That way, if anybody has any questions, it's all done there, and then keep going back and forth. The teams are really good at, I think a lot of teams talk to each other before meetings to kind of know what's up anyway.
100%.
Which helps a lot because it makes the meetings go a lot quicker. They didn't always go quick. When I started in Spring Hill, some meetings were like 4 hours, and our AGM this year wasn't even 2.5.
Well, 4 hours. But I mean, at that point, you guys still had to iron out rosters, zones, rules. Right. There was a lot to work on, right?
Well, even now, there's some stuff that it's non-negotiable because it comes from above, it comes from Hockey New Brunswick sometimes. So we will get rules that we can't alter.
It's fair. There's definitely a governing body there. All right, well, I just had some questions. I wanted to get some clarity on what those look like because people ask, and there's only a limited number of people in those meetings, right? Contrary to popular belief, the podcast, not in any of those meetings. No. But board members are, teams are. So
I've only been to one so far this year. I happen to be away for the other one. But the AGM's usually by that time, all the loose ends are pretty much tied up because it's the only time the Constitution can really be touched. The operating manual can be touched at any time, but
Constitution gets redone or voted on every AGM?
Yep. Okay. Well, and I'll even say, when the 2 years I was in Spring Hill, I was terrible for, having ideas but not bringing them up at the meetings. So then you have these conversations, and then you come back to the next meeting, and it's just... But the teams are a lot better at that than I ever was. getting stuff put into the Constitution.
100%. I hear a lot about it after the fact from teams, from you, from Roger, as I've grown this podcast and gain trust, maybe is the right word. Gain trust from you guys as executives and from the teams themselves. And it's very interesting, but then I hear fans talking and I don't know. I'm not the person to correct stuff, so that's why I'm glad you're here today to give me a little bit of clarity. I appreciate that. Is there anything I can do for you since you did so much for me by giving me clarity? Would you like me to sing you a song?
I'll pass. Thanks for the great offer, though.
Wow.
And you say like sometimes the fans. I always think that no matter if it's positive or negative, as long as people are talking about the league, that means that people are hearing about it. It's gonna create new fans. People are curious generally. So I mean,
100%.
The amount of that you guys talk about the league definitely helps. Like, you got what, like 14,000 followers or something on Facebook now?
14,200 and something. You are correct.
So,
sir.
I mean, like, look at that. Like, to think that didn't exist before, that definitely helps. The streaming definitely helps. There's some people who can't get the games.
It's a reality, and I think when we stream, I always think about those visiting fans and how that helps them stay engaged with their team. Man, I wish there was this when I was just a fan. I can tell you how much. But thanks for coming here, Connor. You're the best. I know you like me a lot more than you like the other Corey. But
love you both equally.
All right, that's wow.
I'll take
Corey?
that.
I'm no Roger Brunn, but I try.
Thanks for your time. Next time we got to get Roger on here. Let's keep working on that. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.